Hello, I'm State Representative Shelley Rudnicki. I represent House District 67, which is Fairfield and Benton.
I'm Representative Gary Drinkwater, representing District 27, the 5 towns of Elton, Argyle, Bradford, Corinth, Hudson, and my hometown of Milford. And Shelley, we need to talk about electric vehicles because, Shelley, you and I are both car dealers. I am out of the business now. We sold our business. But this is a subject that was near and dear to us.
It is, Gary. It's another reason why you should vote Republican, because the electric vehicle mandate is crazy. And this all went down about a year ago. It started when we got wind that 300, was it 300 or 150 people? I think maybe 150 signatures is what was needed to go in front of the DEP?
The regulatory people that control this felt that this was not a major substantive rule, that they could change this with just a few meetings.
So why don't you explain that just a little bit so people understand the difference between a major substantive rule and just a rule?
Well, the history of legislators, not just Maine, but every state and even at the national level, is, you know what, a lot of times we don't want to take an important vote, so we pass laws that say, you know what, we're going to pass this EV mandate, well, we're going to pass this EV bill, and we're going to turn it over to the regulators to write the bills. And with a wink and a nod behind closed doors, they come out with this wonderful idea that all new car dealers should have to have, was it 70% of EV vehicles on their lots. Now, Shelley, personally, I don't have a problem with anybody wanting to buy an EV. God bless you. But let's make that a choice. Let's not mandate EV vehicles, even though, Shelley, we were in the used car business, and a lot of my car dealers were saying that would help the used car business tremendously.
Now, see, I didn't agree with that. I'm a used car dealer, and actually the car dealers have been highly affected. Honestly, you and I both know since the Obama administration with cash for clunkers. That was a huge issue. But the EV mandates, they're basically trying to say that these new car dealers have to have so much on their lot. The problem is, if they're not selling them, it's costing them money. And that is a huge issue because new car dealers, they do what's called floor planning. And so they have to pay, they actually borrow money to bring cars onto their lots. Well, if they're having to have EVs and they can't even sell them. Now, granted, they had till what, 2040 or something like that for the 70 limit, but they had to hit 40% by like 2025. And that was a crazy bill. I mean, and it came out of nowhere because of this 150 people deciding they had to get signatures to approach the regulatory committee to say, we want this rule change. And 150 people got to make the decision that there needed to be a rule change, and then it had to go through the whole process.
That's right, Shelley, and thank goodness for the Chevron decision that was just handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States, dealing with this subject of us regulating our voting to the bureaucrats that have never been elected. And that's going to bring a lot of things back for major substantive rule changes that we are going to have to vote on. So that Chevron decision was a great decision, but also this EV mandate narrowly was defeated in the regulatory hearings. And folks, if you think that it won't come back, it will. Now, if we are in control of something, folks, we will not support mandating the purchase of an EV vehicle. I can tell you in my own district, Shelley, I've got senior citizens that can't even afford prescription drugs. How are they going to afford to hire an electrician to put in a charging station for their EV vehicle? And let's remind folks that if you want a really good full charge, you need to keep the temperature above 32 degrees. Most folks do not have a heated garage.
No, and I agree with you there. This could cost people a lot of money. And not only that, who wants, if they don't want to buy them, then the dealers are stuck with them. They're stuck on the lots. And it costs everybody money, because what do you think is going to happen to the cost of gas-powered cars because of the EV mandates? There's a lot of things that go into this. So we don't want to get into a lot of any more of this, but just to give you an overview, that's some of the things that went on. So we want to remind you, vote Republican in November. Thank you.
Thank you.